So welcome back. If it's your first time here, I'm Almir, aka Mr. HTech, and on this channel we make tech simple. So the product I've got here today is actually a little bit different to what we usually review. However, I can safely say after using it that a lot of you are actually going to be surprised, and you might possibly want to get it for yourself. It's full of features. The product is the HiDock H1. Now, I think probably looks a bit retro. It kind of reminds me of that Charlie's Angels speaker that they had.
Good morning,
but
Angel.
let me tell you, it's full of features. As well as being an 11-port hub on the back, it's got built-in ChatGPT, which you're probably thinking, what's that for? And we'll go into detail in that later on in the video. But what we're going to do now is unbox it and show you what comes in the box, and then go through the rest. Before we do that, remember, like the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, share it with your friends and family or anyone you think will find stuff like this interesting. And leave a comment down below, say hello, and without further ado, let's unbox this thing. So in the box at the top, you can see you've got some paperwork. We've got a quick start guide, a thank you for your support card, which is always nice. And then we've got a little letter which just basically tells the customer if they plan to use it with a Windows laptop or Mac, they can scan the QR code on the paper for a tutorial for the setup. The actual HiDock dock comes in this nice material pouch, and then we get a USB-C to USB-C cable. I believe it's a high quality, high transfer speed one. And then we get a USB-A to USB-C cable as well. Nice little additions. We've got 150 watt power brick and cable, because obviously you're going to connect a lot of stuff to the dock. So to power everything and give that power pass through to your laptop, you're going to need all that power. Now on the side, we also got this E1 earpiece, which I'll talk about more later on in the video why you might want that. And then of course, something that's not in the box, but something you do get with the product, is a lifetime free transcription service. So you buy this product once, and then for the whole duration of your use, you can have free transcription service, which is great stuff. So on the back of the hub, we've got a 2.5 gigabits per second Ethernet port. We've got two USB-A ports, one being a 5 gigabits per second, one being 10 gigabits per second. We've got a USB-C port, which is also 10 gigabits per second, and two HDMI 4K 60Hz ports. And then at the end, we've got a USB-C port for connecting to your Windows or Mac computer. And finally, a DC in 20 volt power port. On the other side, we've got your Bluetooth pairing button. We've got an 18 watt, 10 gigabits per second USB-C port, which you can charge additional devices with. And then we've got an SD card port and a micro SD card port. So on the front, we've got this huge speaker section, and it's comprised of actual 5 watt tweeter and a 7 watt driver in there. It's probably what gives it that great sound quality, which we'll talk about later on in the video. I've actually got a demo which you can see. And we've also got these buttons. So you've got an answer call button, decline call or hang up button. You've got a mute button, and then the top tick button is going to be to start the recording, and you can tap it again to highlight key moments in your transcription. So when it is transcribed later on, it will show you them key moments you've pressed for. So pressing and holding that will activate an LED around the actual volume knob, so you know that transcription has started. Because the hub actually has bi-directional noise cancellation, which cancels out a lot of unnecessary background noise. And not only for background noise in my situation, but the person I'm calling as well, if they have background noise, it will minimize the noise coming through to me as well, which is a nice addition, especially when you're in a loud environment. So the volume knob comes with its own shortcuts. Obviously, twisting and turning it will be volume up and down. Pressing it once you pause music, pressing it twice, it will skip to the next track. So when it comes to connecting the actual device to your Windows or Mac computer, all you have to do is use that USB-C port on the back. Use the cable provided, or even another cable may work. Simple plug and play operation, and you're good to go. When it comes to Android or iPhones, you've got that built-in 5.2 for seamless connection, and a pairing button for Bluetooth on the side. Simply find it in your Bluetooth settings, connect to it, and you're good to go. It works with so many different apps, just to name a few: Teams, Discord, Google Meet, Skype, WhatsApp, what was the other one? Zoom, and so on. So connection, like I said, super simple, plug and play. We're going to connect all the different ports. So we've got the HDMI cord into the HDMI port. We've got the USB-C power that connects to the MacBook and provides pass-through power to the MacBook, I believe up to 100 watts, depending on what you connect. And then last of all, we've got that power port which you've connected, and you should be able to see we've got that green LED around the volume knob, which tells us that we've got power to the actual hub. And then it should come through to the monitor with the picture. So everything connected, super simple. So just quickly, another cool thing is with my MacBook, what I've been having to do with my footage from my DJI Pocket 3 is put it into an SD card or micro SD card hub adapter like this. Whereas with the actual HiDock H1, I don't have to do that anymore. I can simply take my micro SD card, put it into the micro SD card slot, and I'm good to go. My files are on my MacBook. So one less thing that I have to have on the desk. So the E1 earphone is actually an open ear design, and you've got that magnetic connection on the side which just magnetizes to the side of the actual hub for seamless connection. You've got a pairing button on the back, and then you can just take the earphone out, twist it to whether you want it to your left or right ear. It's capable of both, and then you can walk around to the apartment or whatever while still being connected to the call and having your audio transcribed. So I've got the HiDock H1 here connected to my MacBook, and I think we're going to do an audio test just to test the sound quality of this, because from what I've experienced, it's actually pretty impressive for such a small device. And see if you recognize it. Maybe you've heard it before. We're going to start it off at approximately, I'd say around 10% volume. And then I'll up it every couple of seconds. So let's go now 30. And 50%. So even at 50% in my office, I can comfortably listen to music. So you can only imagine what's going to happen when I raise it. So I'm going to go 70%, so I apologize to all the headphone users. Till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways. And then let's do 100%. So you can see the amount of bass that's coming from the HiDock. It's actually moving. Okay, let's turn that down. And then you can press it once to pause the music. And I've got to say, I'm super impressed with the sound quality. Not only do you get them clear, crystal quality, but you also get that strong bass, which is something a lot of these dock stations that have a speaker, I haven't seen many of them, but the bass is something they lack. So you can see how much of an impact it makes on the desk, makes everything look nice and clean and tidy, and declutters any mess you might have around here. Now what I'm going to show you, and I hope the microphone will pick it up, is the bi-directional noise cancellation. They actually have a demo. I don't have anyone right now I can call that's in a noisy environment, but I can show you with the demo an example of how it works. So in order to launch the demo, I believe it's answer phone and Bluetooth pairing for 5 seconds.
Welcome to HiDock Bidirectional Noise Cancellation.
Here we go.
In this demo, we will play audio with various background noises. By moving the red slider up and down, you can experience the noise reduction performance. During the demo, you can exit by pressing the hang up button at any time. Let's
you might be able to hear the
background
music.
to the HiDock brand,
and when I push it up, it turns on the noise cancellation.
Noise. We believe that communication can solve 90% of problems. The communication devices of the future should effortlessly capture voice and take notes, make conversations feel as natural as in-person interactions, have a sleek and stylish design. At HiDock, we are dedicated to innovating for communication heroes, seamlessly blending AI technology with comfortable design. Now,
So if you heard what I just heard, you're probably going to say the same thing. That noise cancellation is so good, especially when you're on a phone call, you can't always get into a quiet environment. So being able to just turn on that noise cancellation, have it block the background noise from yourself and the person you're talking to, because you may be in a quiet environment, but the person you're talking to might not, whether on hands-free in the car and you can hear road noise in the background. That is such a good addition to this thing for having crystal clear communication. So finally, we're now at the ChatGPT transcription function. So one thing I wanted to do was get on a phone call with a couple of people and then show you how the HiDock H1 handles that situation when it comes to transcription. But people seem to be busy at this time, so I really couldn't do that. So I figured, what's the next best thing? And I figured, why not put on a podcast with 3 people and show you some of the features as I'll record the podcast for about, I think I recorded around 3 minutes of the podcast. And let me just show you what the HiDock actually threw out onto the screen. So as you can see on my screen now, I've got the podcast I recorded about 2 minutes and 50 seconds right here. So what we're going to do is when you log into the HiNotes website, you're going to log into your account. On the left hand side, you've got your HiNotes. So once you're connected, it should pop up here, prompting your connection. Mine's already connected, so anything I record will come up on here. In configurations, you also have things like if you want it to automatically upload and transcribe as soon as the recording is finished. I've unticked that because I'll do it myself. You can set it to record phone call automatically, etc. So as soon as somebody calls you on this, it will start recording the transcription without you having to press it. And of course, all the transcriptions can be shared to different people. So if you've got, like I said, a meeting of multiple different people, you can just send them a transcription and summary, and then everyone's on the same wavelength in terms of what's been said and done. So this was the podcast I recorded. You can see it's got 3 different speakers. On the left hand side, we've got a total transcript of everything that's been said, and on the right hand side, we've got the ChatGPT help of summarizing the whole 2 minutes and 50 seconds that have been said into important points. Now, something important that I want to show you here is, you notice how it says speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3. Well, if you have multiple people talking, it's probably best if you're able to label them. And with the voice recognition of the HiDock, that's something you're able to do. So what you can do, for example, speaker 1, we can change the name to Max. Speaker 2 will change the name to Joe. And speaker 3 will change the name to Steve. So now, as you can see, it's automatically on the left hand side changed all of the people's names as who's speaking at what time. So this is great for, like I said, if you've got a bunch of people in the actual conversation, then you'll have a complete transcription of what everyone said at what time, and it's all in black and white. Another function I'm going to mention of the HiDock is, I think I mentioned it earlier on, something I like to do with it is if I've got something in my head that I need to jot down straight away, or I need a reminder for later on, or I just want a plan set out of my day without having to actually write anything down, I can simply press and hold the button on the HiDock. We get that blue LED, and then all I have to say is, today I'm going to be recording the HiDock review video, and then later on I will be going to play some paddle, and then for the important sections we'll press the marker. Remember to thank the subscribers for watching the video and ask them to subscribe to the channel if they haven't yet, like the video, and leave a comment down below what their favorite part is. So now that section should be saved onto the actual recording and highlighted. And then after that, the HiDock has actually proved to be quite a useful dock. It's got 11 ports, bidirectional noise cancellation, and works as a great speaker for listening to music and listening to audio. Now the price links will be in the description box below, because that's the best way for you to get up-to-date pricing. I think it fluctuates between $250 and $300. And then you may even get the E1 earpiece in with the package as well. After the recording's done, we're going to press and hold it. The light's gone off, so now it should be saved onto the actual HiNotes website. So let's take a look at that. So now we actually have that recording on the HiNotes website. So it's right here, the top one you can see it's got the date, 1 minute 17, and it's got the blue section around the upload and transcribe. So once we press that upload and transcribe, you'll see the percentage going up. And let's see how long it takes. It's 1 minute 17 clip. So it shouldn't take that long for it to transcribe it. And then you can see once it's transcribing, it's going to go from blue to green. And then you've got options on the left to delete the audio file, and on the right you've got download to my PC. So as you can see, it took less than 30 seconds to transcribe it. Now we can upload and transcribe, and you can see we've got this highlighted section with the marker here of the sections I wanted to save, and we've got a summary of what I mentioned on the side there. So like I said, it's so good for taking notes on the go, and then you have everything laid out there black and white for you to recollect on at a later time. So to summarize this, I didn't actually think I would like it as much as I actually do. As well as having all the ports to connect every single device I might need, and the micro SD and SD card slot on the side, as well as being a speaker that I can listen to music on in the actual studio. Right now I just listen straight off the TV, and this is far better quality than that. Looks very stylish as well, so it's definitely not an eyesore when it comes to being placed on the desktop, and very functional. If you want to grab yourself one, be sure to check out the link in the description box below. There'll be a link to the actual place with accurate pricing at the time. So thanks for watching. If you leave a comment down below, let me know what your favorite part of the HiDock H1 is. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Share with your friends and family who may enjoy this thing, and like the video if you liked it. Like always, I appreciate you watching the video, and I will catch you on the next one.